guys, welcome to another Red interview. Today I am with
Hayden Davio.
She is a voice actor, which I'm pretty sure really nullified and really like for the audience and mostly just me. Could you give us basically what you've been in and what's most popular that you've done before?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, definitely the most popular thing I've done is easily the game Honey Pop, which is like a dating simulator sort of, but it's Bejeweled. It's 18 plus, so just throwing that out there. If you are not over 18, don't play that.
Don't.
You don't. You'll see naughty bits. Let's see what else I've done. Hear and see naughty things. I've done a lot of 18 plus work, man. Let's see. I've done Honey Pop. I'm in Yandere Simulator as Musume Ranshaku, and one of the voices of Coconut. Yes, it's Coconut. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. I've been in Seduce Me 2: The Demon War as Faye, the fairy demon, who is probably one of my favorite characters I've ever played. I've done a lot of Japanese drama English dubs, so for those of you who are familiar with like K-dramas, so Korean dramas, or J-dramas, Japanese dramas, which is like a live action television show, I've done a lot of English dubs over in Canada, where we, take the show, dub it into English, so on and so forth. That's the long and short of my resume, without going like, I've been in this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and all of these things, look at me. Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit of what I've done. I'm working on an audiobook right now. I can't wait to be able to talk about it. That'll be out on April 30th, so keep an eye out on audible.com and Amazon, where you can purchase that book.
Who do you play in Aphmau, and what series is that?
I played it in her Fairy Tail AU series. It's not like a huge role or whatever, but I do love Aph. She's such a sweetheart. I played the evil stepmother in the first episode of the Fairy Tail AU, and as well as one of the evil stepsisters. So not a huge role, but it was really fun, and I realized I am pigeonholed into playing crazy mothers or evil mothers. I realize that is a pigeonhole role of mine, and I'm okay with that.
Now, can you please define for me and the audience what a pigeonhole is? Now, would another word for that be typecasted?
Typecasting, yeah. I'm just so used to industry terms, which is pigeonholing.
The reason I mention that is I'm in theater class, or my drama class, or drama club, whatever you guys want to call it, that a lot of the roles I do are pretty much the same, which is just me, but on stage, and it's great, but it's okay. But it's one of those things I'll seek out and do.
Yeah, that's usually what happens, especially when you're starting, is you'll play a lot of characters that are very similar to you. I've done a lot of theater in my day, and I played a girl who was struggling with, I think it was in high school. Yeah, I was in high school doing this role, and I played a girl who was struggling with her weight and wanted to, she kept trying to lose weight by using like bulimia, but it kept backfiring, and it like caused a whole bunch of depression. It was a very deep play for doing in high school, but at that time in my life, at that time in my life, it was like, oh, I'm struggling with a very similar thing, which I overcame, and I'm grateful that I did. But that's something you run into, especially in the early years of acting, is you'll just play characters that are very akin to who you are and what you're going through emotionally, because that is what you will portray the best.
And then, of course, as you progress and as you get better in acting, you're able to portray them all as well, if not as better. Okay, so I just wanted to throw this out here before we got really well. But you said you were in Yandere Simulator?
I am indeed.
Wasn't Michaela Laws in that one too? As the
Yes, she is.
And she also plays in Aphmau.
As Yandere-chan. Yes. Michaela and I have been working together steadily since 2012. So.
Nice. Alright, so I have a list of questions, so
she's cast me in a lot of her games.
Oh, nice. That's always fun. Alright, so you had mentioned earlier that you have a favorite role that you've done.
I do.
I know you mentioned it, but like, could you go into like what type of character it is, why you like it so much?
Oh man, okay. So choosing favorite characters is like choosing favorite children, and I always feel bad doing it. But I think I have two favorite roles that I've done. One, it's different genre, so I feel like that's fair. Video game or visual novel wise, it's definitely Faye from Seduce Me 2. I will send you a picture of that later. Faye from Seduce Me 2, who's just this tiny little fairy type character, and they talk like this, and they're just so excited all the time, and just everything is amazing. But they also have like more somber moments, like any character does. But they're really fun to play with that register, because usually the characters I play are in my natural voice, like what I'm talking in right now, or like my lower, what I call my mom voice, which is what I did in app. I think my second favorite character is the last character I played for a Japanese drama of Totone-chan, or as we called it in the English, Daddy's Sister. And her name was Tsuneko Kohashi, and she was in charge. She took over as the quote-unquote father of the family, and she ended up running her own business while simultaneously looking after her family, falling in love. It was just a very wholesome series, and she was a really in-depth character that I really enjoyed playing, and I'm saying really a lot. But definitely Faye and Tsuneko are my favorite characters I've ever had the chance to play, but I love every single character I've ever played. I love this job.
Have you always done paid voice acting, or did you start out doing non-paid voice acting?
I started out as most internet voice actors do, is I started out in my bedroom recording on my laptop microphone, sounding awful, being a terrible actor. I started out, I think I was 12 years old when I started, and I'm dating myself, and I'm like turning 22. So yeah, been doing this for a hot minute. Nowhere near where I want to be, but I started out just doing amateur voice acting work, and I wouldn't change that for the world. I wouldn't change any of my experience. I would not have I wouldn't have paid me to voice act when I first started. So that should tell you everything you need to know about my acting skill back in the day. But I have not always done paid voiceover work, but primarily what I do now is paid. But if I'm working with a good friend like Michaela Laws, for instance, I will do it free of charge, but only if I know you extremely well. But outside of that, I will charge.
Understandably so. I mean, you have to make an income. You have to pay the bills.
Yes.
Like, I want a roof over my head as much as the next guy. I'm not going to do free work here.
My cats need food.
It's not me. It's the cats. You understand? It's a perfect
I will be homeless,
conundrum.
but I need to look after the cats.
Okay. So how long did you start on the non-paid part of the thing before you turned paid, or how long were you confident enough to become paid? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Okay.
So I did non-paying voiceover work probably from ages 12 to, I want to say, 17. Which is just before I did Honey Pop. Honey Pop was my first paying role, and that's when I started charging, because I told myself I wouldn't charge clients any money until I could land a paying gig. Just on my own merits.
Makes sense.
And after Honey Pop, I started charging like a minimal fee and so on and so forth. So I went without payment for like 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had mentioned that you did a lot of online stuff, and you started out doing online. Have you ever met the cast of the stuff you worked on, or only at conventions and stuff?
Yes, I've met the cast of most games I've worked on. I'm good friends with a lot of the girls from Honey Pop. Amber Lee Connors, who plays Belly, Sarah Wiedenheft, who both live down here in Dallas. I'm good friends with them now. Alejandro Saab, or Kagi Films, as a lot of people know him. Michaela Laws, Christopher Escalante, Bradley Gareth, a bunch of people who have been in Seduce Me and any of Michaela Laws' productions I have met and are good friends with, actually together with Alejandro Saab. So it's like kind of like you meet people, and I've known them for, I want to say, since 2012, I've known these guys. So they end up kind of becoming your family if you work with them long enough, because it's such an I want to say an intimate craft is you're showing all of yourself with your acting. You have to be very emotionally vulnerable while still having a thick skin so you don't get, offended. It's like, oh, I didn't get this role? Dang it, I'm the worst person in the entire world. Blah.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Now, okay, you had just mentioned that. Let's dwell back on that for a bit. So I bet as a voice actor you've been what's the proper word? You not failed auditions, but you haven't been casted for you haven't been casted for the roles you auditioned for. Mm-hmm. Does that happen more than being actually casted, or does it not? Do you understand the question?
Yes, No, I understand. I wasn't sure if you were finished. I didn't want to cut you off.
Hey, yo, all good.
In the words of Richard Horvitz, not our audition. Oh, crikey. Our job is to audition. As voice actors and actors in general, our job is to audition. And when we land the role, great. If we don't land the role, we just move on to the next thing. And depending on the project, it is hard not to get attached if you don't get the audition and feel a little hurt. But the thing is not to dwell on that and be like, you know what, that crap, that sucks. I feel a little down because I didn't get it. But you know what? Time for the next thing. What's the next audition? So 90% of the time, you're not going to get cast. And that is just the nature of the business. Sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, especially for people who are just starting out. It can be really frustrating and really disheartening. But if it's something you really enjoy and a business that you really love, you'll stick with it. And you'll just keep trying no matter how many auditions you quote unquote fail.
Okay. That is actually really good advice, personally. But so okay. I still think it's such a small world that you worked with Kagi and oh shoot, I forgot her name.
Kayla?
Yeah, and they both are in the Aphmau world.
Yeah, I've known them for a long time.
It's like longer than Aphmau has. Oh, look at me! Oh.
I'm just so cool. Nah,
I'm a cool kid on the block. Don't hit me, please.
Oh man, yeah, that sounds like me.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you deal with the hate? Like, I'm sure as a content creator yourself and as a voice actor, you've gotten hate and stuff. How do you personally deal with it?
Honestly, I just ignore it. When I was first starting out, I was a lot more sensitive. I was a lot more looking for validation a lot more when I first started. Just like reading all the comments, going, "Oh my god, I hope they like me. Do they like me? Oh gosh, yay, they like me." And if they didn't, if someone didn't like my performance, I would be like, "Well, they're wrong. I'm sure I did a great job. Everyone else said I did a good job. This one person's wrong," and I get so angry and upset about it. But now where I'm at in my career is just kind of water off my back. I'm like, you know what? That is their opinion. It's none of my business. And that's how I choose to live my life. Because if I hang on to every little piece of hate that somebody else has that has nothing to do with me, because that hate is over there with them, I would get nothing done in my life because I would be so consumed by focusing on that I wouldn't even be able to work in my career.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that completely, honestly. Now, you had mentioned that you did theater for a bit. How long did you do on stage acting? Not, quote-unquote, real acting, because that's not what it's called at all.
Yeah.
Sorry, something I previously mistaken with a previous interviewee. I don't know how to phrase that. But, like, I had said, I don't know how to phrase it. I'm like, I don't know how to phrase it. I said real acting, and she got on my tail, which rightfully so. But I'm like, how long have you been on for theater or for stage acting, or did you ever do stage acting?
Okay, I did a lot of stage acting in my time. I started doing stage acting when I was in elementary school. I did a lot of, we do a lot of school plays. I started doing community stuff, and from there, I took a break when I was first starting in middle school, just because, you're in middle school, you're trying to discover yourself. But I did a lot of theater when I started high school. because that was just after I'd started homeschooling, just because the school system where I was living just didn't work for me. So my parents took me out. I was homeschooled, and from there, that's how I started voice acting. And then I was like, well, I want to voice act. I should do more acting classes and do more theater again. So I did high school theater. I did the play I mentioned previously. I did Little Shop of Horrors, which was my first musical. Yeah, it was good fun. I loved that show, and I would do it a million times over.
Feed me, Seymour, feed me.
Yeah, it's such a good show. It's campy and fun, and I played Chiffon in that, who's like one of the 3 singing narrators.
Oh, so you're talking about the new one, not the old black and white one. Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, like the actual musical.
Hey, I've seen both, so I'm just saying.
Oh, so have I. The black and white one is hard to watch.
I agree. I absolutely
agree. 10-minute chase sequence.
Oh, it is not a good movie.
No. The musical's great, though.
Oh, I love the musical. The Dentist was hilarious.
Oh, The Dentist is so well done. All the characters in the musical are so amazing, and it's my favorite musical, so I was really excited that was the first musical I ever got to do.
Yeah.
And from there, I just continued studying musical theater. Now I'm a huge Broadway nut, and musicals are probably the thing I listen to most.
I completely understand that. Literally, it is the same for me. What musical are you currently listening to?
I've been binge listening to Dear Evan Hansen.
I love that one.
It's really good. It's really very cool. I was listening to The Heathers earlier today. My boyfriend and his sister are both very into Hamilton, of course.
I love everything you just said.
No, I love musicals. Singing is one of my other passions. Like, I've been doing a lot more covers that are available on Spotify and stuff like that. And yeah, I've done some speaking of musicals, I did some musicals with Random Encounters.
I love them. They're great.
Yeah, no, they're really sweet group of people. I love them a lot. I did the Honey Pop musical with them.
Makes sense.
And their Friday. Yeah, I know, right? And their Friday the 13th musical. Yeah.
They are great, though. They really are.
Yeah, they're really wonderful, and like I can say no bad things about them.
All right, so who is one of your biggest inspirations as a voice actor?
All right, I have a couple.
All right.
There's a podcast I listened to back in the day when it was still running. I don't know if you've heard of it. That Anime Show with Terry Doty and J. Michael Tatum.
Heard of it? Maybe. Don't fully grasp.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They don't always talk about anime. But when I was first starting out and I was first getting into anime, as we do as anime fans, I came across a show, Sergeant Frog, which was definitely my influence to get into voiceover, just because it was a mix of sort of Saturday morning cartoons, but also those really fun anime tropes. It was just a really fun and unique series, and the male voice actor who influenced me the most is J. Michael Tatum. He was a huge influence on me getting into this industry. Just the way that he carried himself, he just a genuinely lovely human being. I've had the pleasure to meet him at conventions, run into him in passing at Funimation or whatever. And female actor-wise, Terry Doty. She is actually a good friend of mine now, which it's like, oh my gosh, I spent all this time loving your work and loving your podcast, and now we're friends. What is happening? Yeah, Terry, because she started out in a similar way to the way I did, starting out in theater, and then always like realizing once you're in the business that this is something you've always wanted to do, that it was this nice little connection, and just the way she is in the industry, who she is as a person, just inspires me to keep pushing myself as an actor to do better.
Makes sense. Now, sorry, I was just so entranced with what you were saying, I totally forgot what my next question was. So how long have you been watching cartoons or stuff? Like, I know that's a weird question, but like, watching cartoons and stuff really define like what we do as a voice acting in my experience. So what TV show or do you think really influenced you to do voice acting, or do you have one?
Oh, I can tell you exactly the show that made me want to be a voice actor is Teen Titans, like the original, not Teen Titans Go. I don't want to hear about it. I will go see the movie reluctantly, but the original Teen Titans series, because I remember growing up watching that show. I think I was 8. My family was like, "No, you don't watch that. It's violent, blah, whatever." But I remember just loving all the different voices, all the different like creature noises and stuff like that, which are something I love to do, is just like little critter noises, and I love playing cats. Man, but anyways, Teen Titans was a highly influential series for me, both as an actor and as a writer, because I loved the way that the stories unfolded, how they would go from wacky to dramatic, and it just had such a vast range of characters that it was really interesting to watch. And the reason it inspired me for voiceover is just, watching all the behind the scenes for these shows. You see them working in the booth. I'm like, oh, that's how that's made. That's acting. I do acting. I want to try that. So I did. And now I'm here, like, 8 years later.
Okay, that was literally what I was going to say. And you're like, so that's how I do that. And I'm like, so I did. And you're like, so I did. I'm like, we just blew each other's minds.
Wow.
Okay, I have to agree with you. I grew up watching Teen Titans. Now, I am a little bit younger than you, and this will date me. I was 5 when I was watching it, if not younger, because it came out in 2003, right? 2003 to 2006?
Yes.
I think so. So I was 3 to 6. I'm a 2000 baby, I know it.
It's all good.
But yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally understand, and I totally get where you're coming from. Now, was Raven one of your favorite characters?
Raven was my all-time favorite character. I love her. I wanted to be her growing up. I cosplayed her many years for Halloween. Her character was just really fun to watch, and I found she was the most interesting of the Teen Titans. So, yes, she was my favorite character.
Makes sense. I'm not going to bash on you. No, my 2 favorites was Robin and Beast Boy, but, that's fine. We can all like who we want to like.
I loved Beast Boy. Love him.
Dude, one guy I really want to interview. Oh, man.
Greg Sipes?
Greg Sipes.
Yeah.
So I listened to this podcast called Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson.
Mm-hmm.
And you should listen to it. It's really, really good. Like, he interviews people. He does them live. He just talks about the show. He does a Q&A. Do you know who Rob Paulson is?
Yes.
Like, what voices he's done and whatnot?
Yep, I'm familiar with Rob Paulson.
Wasn't sure. I know I've mentioned it to some people that I'm friends with, and they had no idea. So I'm like, you always have to tell them, oh yeah, he's this guy or this guy,
Yeah.
One thing that he said that I always think is the funniest thing is, oh yeah, I have a great face for voiceover, and I'm just like, okay, I get that.
I'm like, same, fam.
Yeah, literally, like, I'm on that boat. I get it. Sorry. Rob Paulson's just,
all good. No worries.
But be very careful, guys. He is not super PG. But I'm just like that, putting that out there. But that's, he does whatever he wants to do, so that's good. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I understand that. Was there any other show? Or was it just Tara Strong's Raven?
Oh, so many shows. I grew up watching the old 4Kids days. My favorite show growing up was Winx Club.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What were you gonna say?
Sonic X.
Oh, I love Sonic X.
Oh.
I love it so much.
Okay,
Sonic I love it so much.
Yeah.
I've been playing Sonic Mania on my Switch, and it's great.
Is it good?
It's really good. I love it because I played the original. I played Sonic. I think it was like Sonic 2 or whatever on the Sega Genesis. And I'm
Oh
like, this is
boy.
exactly what I played. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Now, I really love Tails. So like whenever I
Yes.
can play as Tails, I play as Tails. So like, okay, I interviewed previously Colin O'Shirley,
Hmm.
which voiced Tails on Sonic Boom, which just
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. Oh no, you have no idea. I was so fangirling. Like she started talking to Tails, and inside my little 10-year-old was jumping around the walls, just going, "I need to go out there. I need to what's happening?"
I know, it's when you meet your heroes and they're actually awesome people. And you hear
Yeah.
the voice, you're like, oh goodness. Oh hi.
I'm not gonna fangirl on you, and you just totally lie to them. It's like,
You're like, I'm
yeah,
not fangirling. I don't know what you're talking about.
totally not. No, no, no. This is normal.
No, I totally get that. That's cool if you got to interview them.
Oh no, she's great though. Well, no, she's one of the more popular ones I've actually got to interview. Like you, like her. I'm not trying to sound mean. I'm sorry if this is how it comes across, but I think she's the most.
No, no, no.
Again, if it does, I don't mean it to. You know what I mean, right? It's like,
Yes.
okay, as long as you're good and you're not like, oh, I feel offended that you didn't. What are you doing, child? What?
It's all good, honey.
All right, honey, there's that southern accent.
Oh, that's how you know I've been in Texas too
Oh,
long. I'm
that's it.
Canadian, I swear.
I feel like you lie. Why did you move to Dallas, Texas, if I may ask?
I moved because I am planning to work here. I am working on getting a visa to work down here, so as a voiceover actor. So I should be receiving that fairly soon. And I want to work doing voiceover down here because the market up where I was living in Vancouver is fairly dry. And also, most of my friends live down here. So, I'm in my 20s. I like adventure. So,
Understand
moved
that.
down. Yeah, moved down. Person I'm with is down here. So, the work I want to do is down here. It's just the right place for me to be. And plus, I much prefer the weather in Texas to where I was in Canada.
So, wind and heat.
Yes.
Now, Vancouver, Canada, isn't that where they filmed like The Flash and Arrow and stuff? Or am I mistaken?
It sure is. You are correct.
Did you ever get to meet any of those actors or no?
No, I don't really work in on camera. I've done extra work for on camera. Like I've done extra work for a couple of different like Disney straight to TV movies. Just extras and stuff like that. But I've never done like on camera.
Right.
Like I'll do it, but it's not my favorite. I prefer either stage or voiceover. I just prefer the processes.
Mhm.
I might want to do on camera later in life, who knows, but no, I've never met any of like the DC actors or whatever. I would like to though, because those are some good shows.
Yeah. They are really getting good though. Grant Gustin. Sorry, he just
It's all good.
straight guy. No, he does not look bad. And you're like, I thought this was gonna be boring and uninformative. No, this guy's a hoot. But no. So okay, I was wondering like, did you come across him at like a Walmart or something more that case? Because like, you had already said you were not really into like the on-screen stuff.
No, I've never just randomly met an actor. I met like actor friends at Walmart. It's like, oh hey, how are you? But not so much like just random on camera actors going, oh my god, there he is. Although, actually, that's a lie. I had forgotten about this. I was working at a coffee shop in Vancouver, and my god, what the heck? Seth Rogen would come in quite frequently because he's from Vancouver. He lives there. Seth Rogen would come into our coffee shop fairly often, which is like a ball cap and like sunglasses, just like trying to disguise who he was. And all of us are like, oh, I know who you are. And I'm just, here's your almond milk latte, I know exactly what you want. And there were times where like, is that? No, I don't think it is. And then you hear him laugh. You're like, no, that's it. Yeah, I think that's like the only run-in that I've had that's like out in the open, just kind of randomly.
Yeah. You said you listened to the Heathers, right? Or you were listening to it?
Yes. I just started listening to it. I know nothing of the story because I listened to like 2 songs today.
It's such a good. It is such. Every musical you said is so good. Top 3 musicals.
I like to think I have good taste.
So far, you're not wrong. I haven't known you that long, but so far you're not wrong. But what I realize what I have to do next time I go to down to Texas is hit you and a few other people I've interviewed up. So I'm just saying.
Sure.
I know what you mean. Now, do you have any advice for people who are trying to become voice actors or who think voice acting might be for them?
Absolutely. First step is I would recommend looking into local theater or acting classes near where you are. Something else that I really like is listening to Voice Acting Mastery, which is a podcast by Crispin Freeman.
I know he does.
Yeah, he does a really wonderful job, and it's very informative about what the industry is actually like. Voiceover classes can sometimes be a little bit pricey. Ones that I know here in the Dallas area are Chris Rager has a class. Sunny Straight does a lot of different classes. I know Tia Ballard is running a class out of his studio right now. If you're in the Vancouver area, like Vancouver, Canada area, there's a school called On the Mic Training, which is where I trained for a lot of voiceover stuff. They have all different kinds of classes. They have dubbing classes, acting for video games, acting for cartoons, just acting basics, just whatever you can find that's in your area. If you just want to go and try it out, most classes will allow you to audit and just see how it works and see how it's done so you can kind of get an idea. Another great thing is to just pick up a random book, open it to a random page, and just read a paragraph out loud. Record yourself as well. Most people these days, you have a smartphone, you have a computer, something you can record yourself on. It doesn't have to be a great mic. Just get used to hearing your voice. Read out loud, get used to how you sound, and it's going to be very weird when you first start listening to yourself. There's still moments for me, I'm like, is that really how I sound? Oh, God. All right, sure. I guess this is me then. All right. But, just get used to hearing your voice. Yeah. Yikes.
I am so sorry. Ugh. Are you sure people want
like,
this voice?
I'm sorry for anyone who listens to me, but you get past that. So just practice reading out loud, look up classes, listen to podcasts, just ask people questions. But it's not obnoxious, but something that I'm going to say don't do is at a convention, because actors get this question every single convention you go to. They'll ask it 5 different ways. Is how do you become a voice actor when you're sitting at a panel where a voice actor is on panel? It's like, oh, how do you become a voice actor? It's kind of putting us on the spot. So that's when I just pare it down to what I just said. It's like, take classes, read out loud, record yourself, and ask people to give you constructive criticism. It's like, all right, this is where I'm at. This is what I want to do. How do you think I sound, and what do you think I need to do to improve? So you're looking for constructive criticism, not, oh yeah, you're so great. Don't ask your mom, who's going to be like, oh yeah, sweetie, you're wonderful. Yeah, that's awesome.
But
yeah, go for it. Go
horse.
To that. Yeah. It's like, no, ask someone who's going to give you constructive criticism.
Do you have anything else before we end to say to the audience before we go?
Thanks for listening to me ramble.
No.
Pretty much the only thing I'm going to do a little shameless plug here is April 30th, the book I am narrating comes out. I will promote it all over my Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. I'll be posting that everywhere. So if you are a fan of fantasy and audiobooks, I will be talking about this book on April 30th when it comes out. So keep an eye on that. And that's all I really wanted to promote, because shameless plug also for, the author of the book.
Yeah. All right. I want to thank again. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you say your name one more time?
Guess how to pronounce it.
As you say that, Hayden Duval pops in my head.
No, not even close. Hayden is correct. W. It's
W.
French, and we like to make things complicated.
I am so sorry. I have a terrible memory. Also, on top
it's
of
totally fine.
I can't
There
pronounce
are-
very well, so it's like I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna ask this woman something else again. I am so sorry. Whoops. Well, look what I did.
You are totally fine. No problem whatsoever.
But I want to thank you again for coming on, and thank everyone else for listening. And I want to let you go. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay.